Good evening, guys. Good evening, beautiful people. Hi. So, good evening. Welcome to Free Flowing Thoughts, guys. For those who are new to this page, my name is Silva and I'm your host for tonight. Today's very beautiful and special guest speaker goes by the name of Miss Crystal. And today's topic of the hour is on interracial relationships. Beautiful Crystal, I see you. Are you ready? Okay, let me come get you, or maybe you can see the pink banner. If you click on it for me and I can receive you in. Or should I see if I can come get you? Let me see. Hello, Mademoiselle. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
You came turned up today, baby. You ready?
Yes,
Can you hear me clearly? Hi.
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Comfortable?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Good. Okay. Get the kettle boiling. It's not Friday, but you can get the drinks out. You can be chilling, do what you want. This is free flow. We don't care. I have my tea beside me. I have my water beside me, and I'm good to go.
Perfect.
All right. So happy Wednesday to you. Tell us a bit about this before we get into it. How you spent your day leading up to this live talk tonight.
Well, I just got off of a poetry live on Wednesdays. I usually do
Ooh.
February Wednesday because I'm an erotic poet. And
Mm-hmm.
we were celebrating a birthday, so I took 2 shots. So you are going to get the free
Your
flowing
birthday?
conversation. Yeah.
Happy birthday. Mine's in
No.
2 weeks, girl.
It's not my birthday. It was
Oh,
someone
yours.
else's birthday. But I took two
Oh.
shots for him. So, yeah.
Oh, so you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good. And how was the poetry? Was it great? Did you enjoy yourself?
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Good. You're gonna come on mine when I do mine in the next 2 months. So that would be great. Poetry session number 2. Okay. Hi everyone. Yeah, and welcome, viewers. And again, for those who are new to this page, my name is Silva and I'm your host for tonight. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the backdrop of Crystal before we get into the actual dialogue of the subject. So can we do that? Get to know you a little bit as a soul, yeah?
Yes.
All right, so tell us a bit about who Crystal is.
Well, I am a wife. I am a mother of 3. I have 2 sons that are 26 and 20. And then I have a younger daughter after my second marriage, who is my interracial marriage, and she's 10.
Oh,
I live in Southeast Texas in the
mm,
beautiful Bible Belt. And
oh,
yeah. And I have lived in Texas for over 20 years, but I grew up in Portland, Oregon.
oh, okay. What's it like in Texas?
Texas is hot.
Oh,
Texas is kind of traditional.
mm,
Um, Texas has a lot of good old boy mentality,
mm.
and it's
Is it, may
different.
I ask, is it still quite not so cosmopolitan in terms of, like race and stuff, or is there?
Yeah, it depends on what city you're in. If you're in the larger metropolitan cities, they're a little bit more update. But when you go to the smaller cities, they're a little hickish. They're a little backwoods. So yeah.
Mm.
And I'm just a step
Okay.
out of backwoods. I'm a step out of backwoods, but not totally city. So there's a hundred
Mm.
thousand people in my city.
I used to have like a young childhood fantasy about going to Texas and doing a ranch holiday. Just obviously I watched too many Western movies back then, but I love horses and I apparently a little. Yeah, I was thinking ranch holiday. My son was like, "Not in Texas. There's no black folk out there." That's when we were younger. But it sounds adventurous. Sounds adventurous. Okay, so was you born in Texas?
No, I actually was born in Arkansas. I
Okay.
lived there for like 7 years, and then we loaded up the station wagon and drove to Oregon.
Oh wow. So what is your origin? Is your parents from there, or is there other?
My parents,
origins?
yeah, my parents are both from Arkansas.
Okay. Okay. So what was Crystal like as a child?
Bad.
Did you say bad? And you ain't changed a damn. I don't. I'm playing. I'm
No,
playing.
and you
I'm
know what?
playing.
The foundation was laid, and I just built on it because when you are mischievous, when you are free spirit, when you
Mm,
are out of the box and not the norm, and your
mm,
mother is the opposite, it's hard. So I
mm,
got a lot of spankings. I stayed in a
mm,
lot of trouble. But
mm.
when I turned 18, it was on.
You turn up. So give us one small example, or even a large example of what Crystal Bad Young was like. Come on, tell me.
I'll tell you this, Crystal Bad Young played hide and go get it when she should have been reading a book or, sitting with
What's
her
hard
sister.
gonna get it? Can you break it down?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
come on.
in the hood, we call it hide and go get it. So that means, you know what hide and go seek is, right?
Yeah, I know hide go freak, but what if
Oh,
hide go
okay.
get it mean?
So that's hide and go freak is probably similar to hide and go get it in the States, where
Oh,
we
I
gotta
love
hide
it.
if the boy catches you, he gets to basically hump on you.
Oh, what about if the girl catches him?
And you know what? It wasn't it. Our rights weren't really that fast. That forward then. So it was always the boy got to do what he wanted to do.
I love it. Hide go get it. I remember hearing Jill Scott, my girl, talking about hide go freak, and I'm like, yeah, I can dig that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow! So that was you a little bit about what you were like as a child. But how would people describe you now? Your friends and family. How would they describe Crystal?
Um, I try to be the friend that I want to have. So I'm very
Me
loyal
too.
to my friends. I show
Mm,
up for my friends. I support
mm,
and encourage my friends. My friends would tell you that I'm wild. I love to have fun.
mm,
I love God. Even though I talk about dick and everything else, I love God. So I basically stand on those principles, and that's how I live my life. I was
mm.
raised Catholic. I went to private all-girl schools. Um, then I converted to Baptist with my first marriage, but now I'm just what my second husband calls me, a cactus.
Mm. It's interesting how you say, even though I talk about dick, I love God. And I tell you why that's interesting. And guys, for those who are oversensitive, you don't want to be on this live because you can already hear how me and Crystal be getting down. Yeah. Uh, I tell you why I find that interesting because it reminds me of what I say. It's a bit like me saying, oh, yeah, I'm spiritual. Oh, yeah, I'm soulful. Oh, yeah, I'm whatever. And I'm like, even though I got a lot of tattoos, though, and what you just said reminded me of, it's almost like, when someone mirrors you, it
Mm-hmm.
makes you think about how I usually come across. Why do we say that? Like, why do we say, even though we talk about dick or even though I've got a lot of tattoos, as if we're not allowed to have that side of us because of what society thinks that spiritual or godly should look like,
That's right. So people think
you know?
because I love cock, I'm not a Christian, or because I love
Oh,
I love dick, I can't be a disciple. You know what I'm saying? So that's
mm.
what I'm trying to
No,
let
maybe
people
because
know.
you talk about it on your page so openly and you so like, oh yeah, what is it, Thursday, stick your tongue out and all that kind of
Tongue out Thursday.
you're very sensual and is you own your sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's anything ungodly about that. I guess there is a stereotype of what a godly woman or man would look or behave like, and we already know that
That's
I
right.
prefer me and you because we're real with it.
That's right.
So we love you. So before we get into the deep, I'm going to look at some of your intro comments that people are sending you. I can see that's your folks come to support you. And then once we get into the conversation, we're going to make some space to go back and forth and look at comments. But what I won't do, people, is always break the conversation piece to read comments. So I'll make room for that. Yeah. So let's get into seeing what people want to say already. Yeah. Let me
Okay.
put my 2020 vision on top. Mm-hmm. All right. Hi, everyone. What's going on? Let me see. Welcome to Free Flame Thoughts. Okay. Come on. It always escapes me. Yeah, someone just said church got to get filled too, but who said that? I'm trying to find who said that because every time I press it, it runs away with me. The comments. Hang on a minute. Bear with me. Let me go real slow. Ah. Bear with me. Blood Brother Mike says she gonna be wide open. I love it. Welcome to my house. I love it. Yeah. Neck red. What neck red? To break that down to me. What does that mean, Chris?
Redneck?
Well, that's what he said in the comment. I'm thinking, doesn't mean what I think it means.
It means redneck, like Hicks. That's what I was talking about earlier when he made the comment
Ah,
about,
okay. Okay. What's that? Khalid, poetic vibe says support, support, support.
That's
Yeah.
Queen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And let's go back. Sandy, what's going on? Let me see. Let's go back. Is that Chulu? Says bad.
Yeah,
And someone's
Tulu.
put, yeah. And someone called M3 Mikes
Yes.
or something like that. He's just got eyes looking like, what are they talking about already?
Yes.
Blood Brother says she probably played in the mud as a little girl, I guess he's thinking. And Tulu says, and still bad. Homie Mike sadly says, this is PG show. You know, Sandy, there's only one way to change it up. Bring your ass on here, have your say a little later, okay? If you want to turn it into an over PG. Yeah? Hide and go get it, Blood Brother says. Yes. I never heard that. I love that. I love it. I'm going to say that to somebody and see where it gets me. Am I ready? Am I ready to be gotten is the question, girl.
Yes.
Let me see.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So, interracial relationships is our topic of the night. Tell us, can we go back in time a little bit? Because I need to take you on a slow climax. That's what I do on this show. I take people on a slow climax, girl. Okay? We don't rush the conversation. So, tell us a bit about, if you don't mind, sharing the earliest years you have and the type of guys or girls, whichever way you swear, relationships that you were attracted to. What kind of races were you attracted to growing up as young as you can remember?
So as young as I can remember, I've just always been attracted to people. Let's just leave it like that.
Is that no gender specific also?
Yeah, that's right. You know,
See, how did I know?
I didn't hone it until later, you know what I'm saying? But I can
Oh,
remember in preschool, you know, watching videos and having my hands down the little girl's pants. You know what I'm saying? So
ooh.
I've always liked what I like. Yeah.
What was her reaction?
Huh?
What was her reaction when you did that?
Where was Harry?
Did you say you remember watching a video and having your hand down another girl's pants?
Yes.
I was asking what was her reaction when you did that?
Oh, you know, as kids, I think we don't view sexuality like adults. You know what I'm saying? Like when you catch kids, little boys playing with their penises or, you know, things going on, it is just exploration and it's pure and it's genuine. So when I touched her, it was because she was my friend and let me touch you, you know?
What age? How young were you?
I had to have been about 5, I think.
Oh, you were aware.
Oh yeah, I was
Exploring
born this way.
the senses, isn't it? From that, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's young. Wow. Okay, carry on. So, what race was she, or cultural background?
Girl, I told you I'm old, so I don't remember that stuff. But I think she was a black girl. I think she was black. Really don't remember.
Okay.
But as I grew up, I remember, you know, my parents were very strict. It was no boys, no boys, no boys. But they never told me why no boys. You know, so I went to an all-girls Catholic school. I was raised Catholic. So we were all about the Bible. At one point, I thought I was going to be a nun until I
Me
found out that
too.
they was only married to Jesus, and Jesus wasn't sliding in the bed. So I was like,
Oh.
I'm not going to be a nun.
Wait. Did you say Jesus wouldn't slide in the bed? Do you know what? Come to London. We need to hang out. You crazy as hell already. What? mascara on already. Please don't. Like, do you know what? Can I say this? When I was younger, because I went to a Catholic school, I just thought I would end up being a nun. Remember, I didn't really want to be a nun. It's just the influence you have, isn't it? Until
Yes,
I realized nuns don't wear fishnet tights and high heels. That ain't gonna work out.
that's
So
right.
you obviously like me. You think of things that you're not supposed to think about at that age.
That's
So
right.
that's hilarious. Carry on.
And
I love
so,
it.
you know, I would sneak and date guys, you know what I'm saying? Because even though I knew that they were restricted, I didn't really restrict them, you know? So out in
Mm,
the world, I would have a lot of guy friends, a lot of boyfriends, but at home, my parents didn't think anything, you know, was
yeah.
going on. Um, in high school, I was voted most likely to marry, you know, 5, 10 guys before the age of 30 because everybody, you know, they knew how I was. Even though I had a lot of boyfriends, I was not sleeping with them all, you know, because
Yeah.
and that's what I say all the time on my page. I'm a freak, not a hoe.
There's a
I have one
difference.
partner and I get wild with them, but I don't sleep around like that.
Hmm. Wow. Okay. So how young were you when you had your first serious relationship, and what race and culture was that person, male or
First,
female?
first serious relationship.
Mm,
I was 18. He's black, and he was my college sweetheart, and my
mhm.
first husband.
Oh, nice. As we're talking, I'm just going to send some love back out to your people in the inbox who's sending so much love to you at the moment. That's amazing. So, let's go back before your marriages. You had relationships with females too growing up?
No, no,
Oh no, you just was attracted to them but didn't quite explore that.
yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Are you over that stage or you still want to explore, honey?
I still like big tits.
Well, let me check. I don't know if they're big enough for you, boo boo. We can skip that question.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just nothing. I know that it gets confusing, and I don't want to go down that aisle. You know, I still will compliment a beautiful woman, blah blah blah. But I'm really into men.
What do you find confusing? Tell me a bit about that.
Um, because I know that it's not on a relationship basis that I would ever be with a woman.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
would just be to sleep with you and basically, like they say, fucking get up. So that's it.
Mm, I like your terminologies. All right, that's real. I love already the fact that you are very in tune with yourself and you don't care what people think, do you? You're just you. And I appreciate and respect you for that already.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So let's get into your first husband, who was a black male. What was his cultural background?
He's black. He's from this town that we live in, but I met him in college. So you know,
Hmm.
when you're in college, you kind of think you're going to meet people with a higher understanding of things, you know, and being that I was from Oregon, when I moved to Texas to go to a historically black university, um, I had a culture shock because I had never been around black men like that.
What? Okay, pull up. Black men like what? Let us know what that is.
Well, period. You know, Portland is predominantly white. And so
Wow.
I grew up around a lot of white people. I grew up around uh, not a lot of black men, and especially with my parents trying to keep guys at bay, I didn't get to really enjoy them. So, yeah.
Do you feel like because you were in somewhat deprived from your own that influenced naturally your choice in dating white guys as an older adult? So that
No,
happens with a lot of people.
no, that's not
No?
what influenced it at all. No.
Mm. Okay, interesting. So what was the relationship like with your first husband? How long did the marriage last?
The marriage lasts for 12 years.
Okay.
Um, he was just very bossy and very much into the woman should be submissive. And one
Mm.
day, one of my friends online told me that I was like a caged bird, and that struck me to my spirit. It made me cry because
Sorry, someone said what? Sorry?
that I was like a caged bird because I couldn't really do the things that I wanted to
Oh.
do, and that struck me to my spirit because I wasn't really being true to myself. I was trying to be
Mm.
true to him and what his idea of marriage was.
Oh, bless you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the midst of that, were you unhappy? Or
Oh,
was you?
yeah, very unhappy, very unhappy. When we first got together, he was very dominant. He would grab me and push me, and I was
Mm.
like, not me. I was just shocked.
Dominant,
And
more like aggressive, right?
very aggressive,
Mm.
and another person that couldn't handle my spirit. You were attracted to my spirit, but once you got me home, it was too much for you, and you wanted to make me pipe down.
I get the feeling there's only one area that we want to be grabbed in, and it's only in the bedroom, boo boos,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so you decided to end the marriage, or he did?
Uh, Crystal was
You
bad.
both did.
I was on no. I had another man.
That's how.
I, I believe if you can't do to me what I need, the older I get, the more I understand, the more I see. And I was like, it's not his responsibility to make me happy. It's my
Mm,
responsibility to make me happy. And if I'm
mm-hmm.
telling you what you need to do and you're not doing what you need to do, then I need to move on.
Mm. So did you have a sneaky affair?
Well, actually, it was a gentleman that I had met online on a social networking site. And we were just kind of we were friends or whatever at first. But then because he was so nice to me, so different from my husband, it blossomed into something else. It wasn't anything that I was looking for. It just happened. So,
Mm. So tell me a little bit more. Did you start seeing him then before you totally finished with your husband? So it was kind of like a bit of an affair at first.
well, he actually lived on the East Coast. He lives in New Jersey, and I
Oh, so
live
no,
in
you. Okay.
yeah, so it wasn't like, we got to sneak around and see each other, but, we talked a lot. And then he came down to visit once. And we just hit it, and it was just like, you're my future. And from that moment on, I knew that I didn't want to be with my husband anymore. I was done.
Mm. I like that. You're my future. That's nice. How did it feel for you to relinquish that relationship and just free yourself from the first marriage? How did you feel? Was it a turbulent ending?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very turbulent, a lot of crying, a lot of
Mm,
fussing because at the time my sons were still involved.
mm,
So that was bad too. And all my husband kept saying is, you left me for that white devil. So he was upset because it was for a white guy. Like that was the biggest slap in the face to leave
mm.
him for a white
He was
guy.
a pro-black man, right? That's
Oh
why
yeah. Oh yeah.
I can tell you that straight out if you're saying that.
Hmm.
By the way, not that every pro-black man would speak like that, but that tells me that that was a. It's funny, isn't it? Let me just say this for a moment. Isn't it funny that we latch on to something like that, but not necessarily want to seek to find out why you're unhappy, how I can improve it. Instead, that probably was the biggest thing was he's a white man.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? Let me back it up. We went to marriage counseling and
Oh,
I don't bite
okay.
my tongue. So I said what I need to say. I
Yeah,
said I was not happy. What can we do? What can we do? If you're not willing to do the work, it takes two people. If you're not
yeah.
willing to do the work, what's the point?
What's the point? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And did you find that he wasn't willing to do the work? But although he went to counseling, right? So there's a small part of him being willing.
Yeah, but he was willing to do the work, and I don't know if he just couldn't do the work because some
Right.
things it's just like someone loves you, but they don't love you the way that you want them to love you, but they
Yeah.
still love you.
Mm,
But if you can't treat me the way that I feel like I deserve to be treated,
mm,
um, and you can't participate in the marriage the way that I want you to participate in and be there completely, then you need to go back in the church house and find what you want because I'm not her.
mm, mm-hmm. Would you say then after you split with your first husband that, I mean, they say that sometimes pain changes us.
Yeah.
We don't all go the same way in regards to pain, but I read something the other day that says pain changes us.
Hmm.
Would you say at all that it changed you in any particular way, that first ending with your first marriage?
Yeah, it did. It did.
Mm, okay. So then here comes Mr. Number Two. This is the current husband now.
Yes,
But how lucky are you to find one husband and find straight after another husband?
because I'm me.
What happened? Tell me the fairy tale, or was it a fairy tale? Tell me everything. Spill the whole tea, girl.
Well, we met online and he came down to visit on his vacation.
Hmm.
Um, and we just decided that we really liked each other, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to just do you the abridged version because there is a lot of craziness that got involved in it because there was another guy on the same site that was interested in me. And
Hmm.
he knew that my husband was coming to visit me. My now husband was coming to visit. So he called my first husband and told him what was
How
going
did
on.
he? What? Wait, he got your first husband's number?
That was my number. We got home phones.
Oh,
Remember home
what?
phones?
What are you saying to me? Wait, wait. The guy on the no, no, wait. There was another guy who was interested in you. He found
Yes.
out that your now husband was coming to see you,
Yes.
and he decided, I'm going to call your home phone and speak to your current husband
Mhm.
and bust you.
Yeah, while I was with the other guy. Yeah. It
Men
was a
still
mess.
behave this way, men.
Yeah. Petty.
Wow. What happened when he done that?
Well, when I came home, I snuck in town for a little while to get some things, and my husband was supposed to be at work, but he wasn't at work. He was there waiting for me,
Mm.
and it was a big mess, and I had to slick talk him. And when he left, that's when I decided that I was no longer going to be in that home. I left too, and I
How
went
did,
to be.
what's that? So you packed up and you left that day?
I didn't pack up because, like I said, it's a long story. But the guy that I was with, that I was visiting, my now husband, he was waiting in the hotel for me. So
Mm.
I left and I went to be with him, and we just spent a lot of time getting to know each other
Mm.
in Texas until his vacation was over, and then he went back. He went back home to New
Mm.
Jersey, and I told him that I was leaving. I was leaving my husband, and I left him. I found me a home, and he moved down here to be with me. And then we did it a little backwards. We had a baby, and then we got married.
Well, I guess if you're traditional, you can see it as backwards, yeah.
Yeah.
But wow, how long were you dating or was you dating before you got married?
We dated for like 2.5 years, and then we
Mm.
got then we had the baby, and then we got married.
Okay, so that's the backdrop to everything. Tell us now. The conversation piece is on interracial relationships, but I'm going to create some small space, a moment to read all the comments that's coming through for you, that we can get into the pros, the cons, the blessings, the not, of what it's like to be in an interracial relationship from your personal perspective. So let's see what your people's got to say. Let's go down, let's go down. Forgive me, guys. Every time I press on the comments, it runs away with me and then it disappears and all sorts. So let's see what's good. Blood brother, I think he says when you says about liking big boobs on a woman, he says I like big tits too, and it's got all the eyes. Well, you can't see nothing from here, boo boo. So you just keep looking at the magazines. Fuck and get up. One on poetry says when you spoke about if you slept with another woman, it'd be fucking get up. Yeah. Fucking get up says Lord, and he's laughing. Yeah. And then blood brother talks about fishnets and pantyhose. When I was talking about, I think when I wanted to be a nun for 5 minutes, and I thought they don't wear fishnets and high heels. That can't work. That ain't cute. I don't want to
Yeah.
be a nun no more. Good evening, everyone. Okay, Blood Brother also says, New Orleans might be real fun. Let me see. Let's go back. Tulu says she's very talented. That must be in regards to your poetry circuit, peeps, I guess. Let me see. Let's go up. Blood Brother Mike says she never seen so many black men with what? Kneecap length penis. Listen, brother Mike. I know people say it's not about the size, it's how you use it, but I do think it's about the size as well, because Okay, I'm gonna just pause there. Let me just keep it moving. We can get back to that later if you really want to talk about that. Yeah. Pipe. He says, Sandy says, did your first husband have a reason for you to date outside your race? Did your first husband a reason for you to date outside your race? So that's the first question.
No, it was not the race. It was the person. I have had a white guy ask me before, how long have you been into white guys? I'm not into white guys. My husband just happens to be white.
Right, you're into people. So when you was on that dating app, you obviously did not restrict it to black. You were just open to people, to souls.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right,
Right.
because that's how
Okay.
I was raised. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Uh, yeah, hurt his ego in regards to blood. Brother Mike is saying in regards to your husband talking about, he was a white male. I think
Yeah.
that's what Brother Mike's talking about in regards to hurting his ego. Back it up, baby. Yeah. I want to see what this gentleman looks like. He's got so much game talk. Great interview. Thank you for being here, Brother Mike. Oh my, he says. Yeah. What's that? Quilip Poetic Vibe says, yes, at Brother Mike. She being very transparent and authentic. I love her. Yes, I love her too, actually. I just love women. This is the reason why I have so many international guest speakers, and most of my guests are international, because I just feel like I must say this as a UK lady, a woman that lives in London now, there's so much fake prudishness out here. Yeah, I said it, fake prudishness. Yeah, and I've always, for some reason, even on my other pages in the past, because I do poetry too, like it's been a long time. Creative writer, I always attracted Americans on all my pages. It's always been mainly states, so that's just obviously what I attract, and luckily you guys like me too. So, let me see. Sandy says, girl, you don't give out the whole number. Girl, really? For real? Sandy, thank you. Girl, what were you
But
thinking?
you know what? That was when we had remember you had to get phone cards. So I
Yeah.
wasn't gonna pay for all the minutes for somebody I might not like.
You took a risk, girl. You took a risk. That is for sure. That's a good one, Sandy. Girl, you're lucky your husband didn't kill your ass.
And that's what I kept saying. Yeah. Yeah.
Seriously, yeah. Let me see.
Yeah.
Brother Mike says, damn, dude got mad and snitched. Right. Colleague Poetic says, petty. Yeah.
That's
Okay.
Quilla. Are you saying Quilla, Quilla?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, no,
that's
no.
Quilla. That's my friend.
Quillp, Poetic Vibes. Yeah.
Oh, Quill Poetic Vibes. Okay, that's
Yeah.
Quilla.
Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong,
That's
guys.
okay.
Yeah. When you have a billion words together, I'm like, what does it say? Sounds like a good book. Yeah.
It is.
One on poetry says, hello, ladies. Hello to you. Blue Lotus says, love the liberated flow. Absolutely. Absolutely. Blood Brother says, white guys into you. They're into me too. Yeah. But, we're going to talk about me a little later. uh, Quill says, that's right. He's happy. What? He's happen. You be white. Go ahead, Crystal. Okay.
Yeah,
Maybe he's happy or something like that. I don't know.
that's right.
Sandy says, Sandy, where have you gone? Don't disappear. Your comments run away. Okay. Sandy says, did you ever feel that you were pressured to date a black as a child by the community you're in, even though you are open and diverse, basically?
Yeah, I will tell you a story. For my senior prom, you know what prom is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for prom, I was going to the prom with a black guy from the all boys school out in that area. But I got word that he got a hotel room and he was planning on some after prom activities. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And so when I found that out, me and my hot headed self told him we weren't going to the prom together. I was so upset, blah, blah, blah. Another guy stepped up and took me to the prom. He was half Hawaiian and white, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm.
what no brown to him at all. But he stepped up. He took me to the prom. He took me out to eat and everything. And my mom was like, you know, you couldn't get a black guy. You couldn't find a black guy to go with. And I was like, he's mixed. And she was like, mixed with what? And I was just like, you know, what does it matter? He was the gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped up, and he's taking me at the last minute, you know. And I
That's
didn't see
cute.
anything wrong with it, but she
Mm.
did. She was upset.
So, okay, we're going to talk about that as well, the family background and what they think and etc. Okay. Hey, Crystal, poet Veronica J.
Hey, Veronica.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Sandy kind of opened up that dialogue in regards to did you feel pressured? Um, so growing up, although you say you didn't see many black people where you were, with your family relatives though, your family dynamics, was there any diversity within your family household, whether it's black, white, Asian, or was it just purely pro-black relatives that only dated and married into black growing up? What did you see in your family dynamics?
Yeah, so everybody basically dated black, you know.
Okay.
I knew we had one cousin that married a Hispanic lady. It
Okay.
was a black guy with a Hispanic lady. And that was about it.
Hmm. That's interesting because even though, sorry, you didn't see many blacks growing up in your town, that your family still had that solid pro-black, um, what can I say, almost like role model around you, because you're, you know, the environment you're in plays a big role in how we're shaped to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
So that really means to me then, in a sense, that when you say you love souls or not necessarily the race or the culture, that is genuine because you grew up around pro-black family dynamics.
Mm-hmm.
But for some people, they've had, I'll put this to you. I have a cousin and she's only about, at the time, dated black for years. Her marriage did not work out. He was volatile, violent and everything. And I remember having drinks with her, and I remember her saying about 5 years ago that she's like, I can't see me going back to a black man. And to be honest, I'm going to give you little snippets of what I think. That disgusted me. Her response disgusted me. And the reason why it disgusted me, and I had that feeling, which yes, it is a judgment. We all judge. That was my inner judgment, was because I said to her, I understand though through the trauma, like a lot of black men who say they don't want black women because of what they've experienced or they see our attitude as being whatever.
Yeah.
I understand that constant experiences can put you off something. It's like eating a curry and you always get a bad stomach. You're going to stop eating curry.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I said to her, when you look at the face of your child as a boy, what color is he? I said, he's a young black male. And I said, regardless of the turbulence of what I've experienced and the men we chose, because we have a part to play who we chose.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be mindful what I say about the black man, because I have a young black man that's listening to all I say, and that's my son.
That's right.
Okay, you dig that? So I can still say my experience, but I have to be mindful.
Yes.
Okay, because I had to say to her, you have to be mindful of how excessive you put that out, because he was young, very young at the time.
Yes.
And if we have all of this, understand this, you may not be saying oh to your son, but that's the reflection. That's the reflection of your father, your brother, your son. You're saying oh. And she looked at me and I said to her, you know what? I understand that you do not want to go back to black, but it's because of trauma. That is because of trauma. So my philosophy is, and I just put this piece before we persist with you, I actually don't mind if people say they just love souls. But I do have a problem with black people who say they directly avoid their own.
Yes.
It's intentional.
Yes.
I have siblings who said it. I'm going to be real with you. I've had siblings, I've had relatives, I've got friends who say it. Those are the people that I feel like you are a lost soul.
Yeah.
You are a lost ass soul. Because if I'm going to sit here and say, you know what, I'm going to intentionally avoid the face of my father, my ancestors, that don't make no sense to me. Yeah, and I'm going to intentionally avoid a good black man and that experience because what?
Yes. Yep.
Because of what I've been through. I mean, black men has their ways, white men has their ways. But
Thank
my
you.
philosophy is you just love souls. So I can be cool with you, Crystal. Because you didn't
Yes.
say well, did you? I don't recall you saying I'm just avoiding my ancestors.
No, because that is not how I feel. Just because I'm married to a white
Lost soul
man
to do that.
doesn't mean that I don't still love my brothers. Don't mean that I can't see the finest in Idris Elba. You know?
I don't know, yo, did you mention my man? Say, who? Say what? We're going to fight now. I liked you a minute ago. We're going to fight now, though. That's my guy. As well as Tyrese. Just give me those
Yes.
two. So, you know, do you understand? And guys, in the comments box, what do you feel about what I've just said? Because I'm actually saying to you, I'm going to give you a bit of a backdrop. Crystal, hold space just for a moment. This topic is quite passionate to me. And I'm going to give you a backdrop for where I'm coming from. My mother's Jamaican. My father's Dominican. I was born in London. I grew up in a household, thankfully, where race was not discussed. Yeah, where race was not discussed. I didn't get more attention because I was lighter than the rest. There was like some of my family who friends has gone through. It was never discussed. The only thing I noticed is my mom always had an admiration for dark-skinned women and dark-skinned men. I'm so glad because I could have been grown up like some of the light-skinned women I've grown up with who had a complex of thinking I'm all that and I'm better than. But she always like, look at that beautiful dark woman, look at that beautiful dark brother. So I grew up in such admiration with the darker, and I love all brothers, but I really appreciate the midnight as well, you know, the dark complexions.
Yeah.
I do. I love you all though. But my mother's friends were, you know, two close Black Caribbean women, Jamaican and Trinidad. Her other closest friend was Caucasian Jewish. My dad's friends' wives were white. My closest friend from school from 11 was white Turkish. There was never a discussion of I'm not allowed to have white friends, white boyfriends. It was never discussed. So I grew up like very diverse. Strangely though, I've always been attracted to all races. I'm very attracted to Caucasian guys, but I consciously do not date white men. Yeah, so I'm attracted to them. They're attracted to me. And that's, I tell you what it is. Again, I think if I took home a white man, they'd just be surprised, but it wouldn't be an issue. No one would care. It'd be like, okay, hi, come in, have dinner. No one would care. But I feel like I grew up strangely because it wasn't influenced around me. I grew up passionate about my whole ancestry journey. I did. I don't know how that came to me because my parents didn't educate me with all of that. I kind of grew up being inspired myself and being moved by that spirit within myself. I don't know how. And again, my siblings, all I saw was white women with my brothers. Yeah, so yeah. I don't know how I grew up like that. I've always felt, I mean, as a young person, I was attracted to Moroccans a lot. So I had a couple of one Moroccan lover growing up. I have slept with one white male. Maybe, how young was I? Maybe about 20, maybe 19, I'm not sure. But I did it for the wrong reasons. I wanted to know what it was like. Wrong reasons. So we're in the bed. A bit of TMI right now, guys. Are you ready? Yeah. We're in the bed. He mentions one word, bring your chocolate, you know what. And I don't know, this is going to sound real bad, but in the moment I was like, Master, no. That's how I felt. I'm not going to lie. I was like, no, I didn't like it. Yeah. I didn't like it. And let me tell you why I didn't like it. Because I clearly chose him for the wrong reasons. And he clearly had me as also a fetish too. Think about what I'm saying. This whole bring the black chocolate, I didn't like it. So I was like, listen, Master, we can't do this. That's how I felt within myself. And I've never gone back. But again, I say, disclaimer, I'm attracted to white males, all type of white males, especially your tattooed baby, yes. But I choose consciously to date, commit to black men, and I strategically only had a black child that was, yes, orchestrated. I just felt like I wanted to continue on to strengthen my black heritage. Although my siblings, I think because there was so much mixed in my family, there's so many mixed race of us in our family, that was my personal choice. But again, I say, I have no issue with a black woman or a black man choosing who you want, but not if you are intentionally saying you are avoiding it intentionally. Right. The black man who says you black girls are too much, and you make it clear that you've gone to the other side because it's easier. I've heard this so many times. I'm gonna be real with you, you know, and so on. So what do you think about my experience and what I've chosen, Crystal?
Well, I mean, you chose to marry black. I did.
Oh, I didn't marry, but that's what I mean.
Well, you chose to be with black.
Yeah, I these are my reasons, because I'm very ancestral. I'm so, call it a hang up, call it a chip on my shoulder. Yeah. I'm just passionate about the journey.
Yeah. And I mean, I've been with black too. I have 2 black sons. They're gonna sport some black babies, I pray. But you know, and I have a mixed daughter. But I wanted to touch back on what you said about the fetish type thing. It was so funny because when I came back and told some of my girlfriends, you know, about him, because I kept it under wraps. I didn't tell anyone because for one thing, I didn't want to hear their opinions, you know. Because
so you knew you were going to get some sting, at least a little bit, right?
Yeah, because I know,
which is not people, really fair. It's your business.
I listen to, and sometimes when you listen to what other people are saying and you care what other people say, you move from what you really enjoy or what you really like to be a people pleaser. I'm not a people pleaser. I want to be pleased. Good. So, but it was so funny because we were having that whole conversation. It was like one of those girls trip conversations. And they were like, we got so many questions. And I said, well, what do you want to ask? And they were like, I heard that their dicks are pink. Is this dick pink?
It is, and though. That's why I don't want it.
But is that what you're concerned with? That's not. I'm concerned with your heart.
It is, though.
How you treat me. Yeah. So, I respect people who want to keep the lineage going, because I do spend time thinking, oh my God, if my daughter grows up and marries a white dude, I'm gonna be lost. My sauce is gonna be lost. So
I'm going to ask you about that in a minute, about how you feel about your choice. Actually, let's talk about that now. Yeah. Okay. And before we do, I'm going to just add on what I've said to my son. It was important to me to give my son what my parents gave me, freedom of choice. It really was. I've spoken to black acquaintances, and I remember one guy saying, if my child brought home a white boyfriend or girlfriend, I'm ending the relationship with my child. I was like, repeat that to me one more time.
Yeah.
You're going to end the relationship with your child if they bring home a white person. I can't with those people. Yeah. Personally, this is what I said to my son. From young, you go out into the world and you go find happy.
That's right.
Okay. And whatever makes you happy, I'm happy. That's if you like her, I like her. If you love her, I love her. But if you were to give me a choice, I would strengthen our throne.
Yeah.
Big difference. If you were to give me a choice, I would obviously strengthen my throne. And let me tell you why I say that unapologetically. Asians feel no way marrying into their own. Asians feel no way employing their own.
Yes.
Jews feel no way marrying their own and employing their own. But yet when I speak this, people have an issue. Don't have an issue. I'm just saying I would love to strengthen my own. Yeah?
Yeah.
My son just happens to have chosen a black woman to have a child with, which I'm a grandma now. Yeah, he's going to be 4 this year. But I am happy. I do feel like, yeah, you kept it. You kept the bloodline. He may choose different later. Who knows? But it wouldn't make me love him or accept his partner or whatever any less, regardless of what color or culture he brought home. As long as when she steps into my house, she has respect, regardless of color or culture.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's how I feel. So going on to your children, let's talk about, first of all, I've seen a picture on your other page, your beautiful mixed race daughter. What's your thoughts? Because I've had an abundance of mixed race people growing up around me. It makes no difference in regards to the spirit. There's good and bad everywhere. Black, white, mixed, Chinese, makes no difference. But one thing I have noticed, and many people have spoken on this, there seems to be an imbalance in mixed race people that a lot of us can't put our fingers on. And when I've assessed it, the only time I've come across a mixed race person, just in my experience, mind you, please educate me in the comments box also if you have different. The only time I've seen a mixed race person have a sound identity balance is when they've had a solid black role model in their life, and the other person, biracial, whatever it is, also has that solid influence. So let's say you are black and Chinese. The black parent has, as you know, being predominant in teaching them about their roots, the food, the hair care, the culture, the history, as well as the other Asian parent taking them to the country, showing them their roots. But I've noticed when you haven't implemented as a black person the solid black ethnic journey, culture, history, lifestyle, essence, everything you could think of, I find mixed race people has this kind of imbalance, almost like they feel like if they're around black, I need to act black. If I'm around white, I need to act black. No, you've got the best of maybe both worlds. Just be you. But there's almost a confusion and a lostness with mixed race people that I see all the time. What's your thoughts? As you have a young mixed race daughter, how can you ensure that she has this solid balance between a strong black, you know, influence? Being black doesn't mean they have a strong black influence. I mean, what you put into her.
So what I pour into her all the time, you do not have to identify as either or. You are both. Your
That's right. That's
is
right.
Black and your father is white. So I tell her that all the time. I make sure that she knows about, you know, our history. I make sure that she knows about what people like your father did to us. You know what I mean? And so I don't miss it.
Did to us.
To our people, to black people. But,
yes, your new husband. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
wow.
Yeah, we have that conversation because I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to ignore it because it's fact. But I also want her to see how far we've come, you know? And you know what I always tell my husband, even though I married a white man, I will never back down on my blackness. So whenever anything happens in the news, whenever anything is going on, I'm always a champion, you know, for my people. I'm going to stand up and speak for my people. Just because I am married to a white man doesn't mean I'm anti-black. I'm pro-black. I love my people.
I was going to say, that's a question that someone asked me a long time ago to ask when I do this show. A relative of mine says she would like to know, how does a pro-black man, especially a Rastafarian, end up dating a white woman? How does that, because people find that quite confusing when you can be so pro-black. Personally, I do believe you can be solid in your history. History is just accumulation of knowledge. That's all it is, knowing your knowledge, yeah? But when someone's pro-black, I don't know if they could date white. I don't know if they can. Yeah? But it doesn't change you knowing your history.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can somebody tell me what you think in the comments box? Could you be pro-black or pro-white or pro-anything and still go, you know, date into the opposite side? I don't know. I mean, I will say this as a disclaimer. I will never say never.
Yeah.
Okay. Though you hear me saying I'm attracted to white, I'm attracted to all, you know, all sorts, all different types of people, in terms of a race. I will never say never. So maybe if you see me with my Zimmer frame, you may see me on my private yacht with my rich white husband. But it's gonna have to be that long ago. You're gonna have to be that way. I mean, my Zimmer frame, and he rich too. In the meanwhile, I never say never, but I have to put it down as a disclaimer. If you see me with a white blonde-headed man with blue eyes, you never know. I switch guys. Okay,
that's hilarious.
Maybe what am I now? Gonna be 45? You never know. Maybe 85. Maybe if I find myself single, then you never know. Disclaimer, you know, anything can happen, child. Okay, so let's get into the meat of your beautiful black sons. How do you feel? How would you feel about them dating white and also, yes, having mixed race children? You spoke about, you know.
I'm a hypocrite.
Oh, you're real? Are you that real? For real?
I'm a hypocrite.
What?
Yeah. I think about that all the time. Like, if they brought a white
Wow.
girl, yeah, if they brought a white girl home, how would I feel? If they brought a Mexican girl home, how would I feel? Um,
Why
growing up in,
Mexican? I like Hispanics though. I like them. Why? Why? Tell me. Girl, you can't be this real for real, are you?
I can't be this
Is your
what?
husband watching this?
Huh?
Is your husband watching this live?
No, he's at work. He's at work.
Wow, you are real. I love that. Seriously. So if they brought home a white person as you brought home a white man to them, you'd have a problem with it.
um, I would have issues with it, but guess what? I would get over it because
Can
if
you
they
share what those issues are, Crystal?
my issues are growing up in Portland, like I said, there were not a lot of black people, so we had a few men, not as many men to choose from. But for whatever reason, they chose white girls over us. And so
Right.
that made me feel a certain way. And like you said, I had one guy tell me before, Trina, I like you, you're pretty and everything, but you wild, you raw, you loud, you this, you that. So it's the same things that they always say about us, why they can't date us, why they don't like us. You know
I
what I
can't
mean?
stand those ones. I can't stand them. I'm gonna be rude with you. Let me strengthen that. I'm gonna tell you now. All right, I'm gonna say this straight up. Whenever I've met a man, a black male, that just so happens to uplift the black woman in how he speaks,
Yeah.
and how he speaks of us, and I get the feeling, or he even confirms that he's a pro-black man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have a deeper admiration, love. I do. I do. I do. When I meet black males that date white women, it's not that I necessarily just disrespect them, but I do look at the fact that you're talking a lot of pro-blackness and you're not living it. You're not living it, and then you've actually committed to the opposite side and maybe had children. I'm not gonna lie, I don't respect them ones. I don't. Especially when you're talking hard and you're pro-black. I
Yeah.
can't. But
Yeah.
when I meet a black brother that just has an admiration for the face of his ancestors, that bloodline, I love it. I love those black men. I love those black kings. I do. I do. You guys are quiet in the comments box. I'm going to give another 5 minutes and then we're going to read some of your comments. Is Crystal on the move? Are you moving while we're talking, girl? Are you multitasking like that?
I'm still a mom. I got to pick her up from school and it's
Oh,
raining.
I love it. I love it. Tell us some of the pros and then the cons of being in an interracial relationship. Give us the truth about what the pros and cons are.
Ooh, the pros. Uh, I don't. I don't think there are any pros. I wouldn't dare say. To me, if I said that there were pros, that's disrespecting my brother. That's
Oh
disrespecting my black man.
wow.
Yeah. So I wouldn't do that. So, can I tell you the cons?
Yeah.
So the
Don't let me
cons.
take back that salute though, girl. Don't let me take it back. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the cons are the biggest con, especially in this area, is that people never know that we're together. People
Mm.
always assume, like when we walk in, we're in line, people always assume that he's another customer and I'm another customer. We're never together. When we walk into grocery stores, when we walk into venues, people always think this white guy is opposite of her. Um, another
Mm.
another con is because we live in a black area now,
Mm.
and he's the minority where where we live.
Mm.
Um, it's been kind of hard on my daughter a little bit because she has to explain to these kids why she looks the way she looks.
Mm.
So when I come to pick her up, and then when her dad comes to pick her up, they're like, "Wait a minute, what's going on over here?" So
Mm. Mm.
that's been a con, but I try to pick it up and I try to fill in any blank spaces, any hollow spaces. I try to fill them up with knowledge and love and acceptance.
Mm.
Um,
That's salute. Do you find as a black woman that you are breaking down basic stuff to your husband that a brother would understand? Like I used to think about that stuff. It seems like okay. I mean, it sounds petty, but I can't with that. I cannot with that. Someone once said to me, "Oh, if you got a white guy that was more like black," I'm like, "What?" Then they would
yeah,
understand. So I need to find a Justin Timberlake. No.
no,
Yeah, no. So tell
no,
us some of the basic stuff, whether it's your sayings, whether it's the music you play, what kind of
girl.
stuff you got to break down to him and be
It,
like, really?
yeah. My husband didn't grow up in the inner city. He didn't grow up around a lot of black people. He grew up in a township. That within itself tells you he white. So when we when different things happen, like the food that we eat, especially down here in the South, we eat a lot of, what I call slave food. So
That's what they
it's
call soul food, really, isn't it? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so he didn't eat that kind of stuff growing up, but now he has an appreciation for it.
So tell
I
us some of
say
those. Tell us some of those. Sorry, what are some of those meals? Tell us what you call the slave food. Tell us a little bit about that, so
so.
people understand.
We eat everything on the pig. We like to say from the rooter to the tutor. So from
Mm.
the front to the back.
My
So
parents still doing that shit.
and
I gave up the meat game 2014, but wow.
yes, we eat greens. We eat what's another thing? What else? Cornbread. He didn't eat a lot of cornbread.
What
Things
is
like my mom.
cornbread? What is cornbread?
Okay, so cornbread. Cornbread is when you take meal, ground up corn, and you put flour and baking soda and eggs and stuff, and put it in a mixture with milk and everything. You mix it up and you put it into a skillet and you put it in the oven, and it's bread cooked in the oven. We cut it up like bread.
Oh, when I come to States, you're gonna make me some cornbread,
Yeah,
girl.
you got to get you some cornbread. Yeah,
Yeah, I
so we
keep
eat a
hearing
lot of
it in all these
cornbread.
movies. And I'm like, what is that? What is collard greens? Because we have different terminologies out here. So
Yeah,
does he now eat all that soul food now? You call it slave food. Does he now eat all that?
he does, and sometimes he wants that, instead of other things. And I'm like, dude, I try to move away from slave food. I don't want all that, but I cook it for him because I introduced it to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my tradition. It's what I was raised eating. So I've had to teach him about different holidays like Juneteenth. A lot of people didn't know what Juneteenth was until last year when
Hello.
Black people we were at the forefront for once. So we had to teach a lot of people our culture, things that we grew up with. And what was so funny is that I, for the longest, didn't even know it was called Juneteenth. We
Me
celebrated it.
neither.
We celebrated it every year. And pardon my language, but my mom called it Nigga Day. And so
Oh
I
shit.
I just knew that we had watermelon and red soda, and chicken. So black stereotypical, for we had those things to celebrate our freedom. The last people finally found out, the last black people found out they were free. So
Mm-hmm.
we celebrated Nigga Day, but then as I got older, I was like, Mom, you had me saying this old racist term, and it's called Juneteenth, but
I hate
back
that
then,
word.
yeah, back then when we all said it so freely because that's what we were called, so that's what we called each other. She said Nigga Day, and that's what I called it, Nigga Day.
Do you ever find, and it's once been said, multiple times been said, that whenever people are upset with each other or in beef mode, that's when the truth comes out? Yeah? Even
Yeah,
between black. My mother's Jamaican, my father's Dominican. And sometimes you're like, you hear African, whether you're African or Dominican or whatever it is, you hear little things. So when you and your partner have a little moment, does he ever say things out of turn? You're like, what you say?
no, and you know what? I've even gone so far as to give him a pass to see if it was in him, to see if he would ever say it. But
How you do that?
huh?
How you test him like that? How? What you do?
I say, because we say it around the house, we listen to rap music, and because I grew up saying it, I'll say it sometimes, because, and it's habit. Like, I just say,
Mm.
nigga this, nigga that. And it is part of us. So he'll just be looking like, dang, because a white person can't say it, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, you can't. And so I've given him a pass. He will not say it. It's not in him. It's not the type of person he is.
Nah, it's not. So he's never said anything out of turn. Have you ever said anything out of turn to him?
No, because I think all the terminology that's supposed to be degrading to white people, like cracker and peckerwood and honky, those are all stupid to me. So I never say them. I don't. If I'm going to say anything mean to you, I'm going to call you stupid. I'm going to call you dumb. I'm going to call you this. You know what I'm saying? I don't do the race thing.
Has there been any pros and cons from his perspective, though? Because remember, he's not here to give his side. I'm sure he'd have his reflection of how he feels. Maybe another time you can come back with him. Like, what has he said has been his difficulties, challenges, or pros and cons being of a black woman? Are you the first black woman he's been with?
Yeah, I'm the first black woman he's been with. And we talk about that quite a bit. We're very open. We talk about everything.
Amazing.
Especially political things. And especially when anything black happens, I'm always trying to, talk to him. But I know that he will never understand what it means or feels like to be in
That's why I've not ventured as well. I need alignment, man. But I love the fact that you are solid in your own identity. And I'm sat here and I'm like, right, maybe if more people had your balance, it would be different for the mixed race children that comes forth, because you have a solid stance as a black woman. Yeah. You are clear about your boundaries of what you would have or not have in your home. That's what I'm getting from you. Yeah. So what are some of his challenges? Has he ever expressed that to you, or?
Yeah, I mean, he has challenges because he's a stepfather to 2 black sons.
Yeah. So, and you all live together in one home.
Yeah, and we did, but my sons are older now, but they still live at the home, but they go out and they do their own thing.
Yeah.
But it's a challenge to them, and like I said, he's white. So when we say, man, that's how white of you, because he doesn't process things the same way that we do. And I don't care what anybody says. There is a difference in cultures, but we blend them, and I embrace whatever he brings to the table that is, beneficial to me, because I feel like the more well-rounded I am, the better person I am, and that's just me.
And how did both of your families, I know you've got to get your daughter, do you need to pause, or can you still flow?
No, I can still flow. I'm almost here right now.
Okay. How did both of your families react, respond, or accept or reject you guys coming together? Were there any challenges or any viewpoints?
Yeah. At first there was a challenge from my mother. My mother,
what mama say?
She thought he was rebound, just rebound sex. He's nobody. He's another one of her flings. He's this, he's that. And she has her views about white people, but she has a lot of good white friends, and I think it's kind of almost like me. You could be my friend, you could be this, you could be that, but not in my family.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm going to keep it real with you. I mean, look, let me explain this to you before you proceed. There are people that would say, oh, I have black friends, I work with them. I have white friends, I work with them. You can't choose who you work with. That's not real. When I say I've had close white friends, I'm talking about when they come to my house, they sleep in my house, they put on my night clothes. I went to school with this woman since age 11. My fancies are like an auntie. You are welcome to my parents' house. I embrace all different people as friendships, but I do think we have a right to choose who shares our bed and who we build a home with. Yeah, so you can have an Asian friend, but it doesn't mean you're attracted to Asian to have a relationship with.
That's right.
So for me, that's how I see it. I feel like who you're attracted to is very different to who you have friends with. I think if I was outright prejudiced across the board, I wouldn't have white friends in my house, drinking out of my cups, having dinner, sleeping in my house, going to my parents' house. So there's a lot of but I think it's very different. It's very different. Your attractiveness on a spiritual, soulful, sexual level is you have a right to be diverse of what works for you and what doesn't. No?
Yeah.
So I guess, I don't know about mama, but Yeah. So has she come round to accepting you guys now? How long have you been married for?
Oh my God, they absolutely adore
Oh,
him because
that's
they got a
nice.
chance to see what I see.
Oh, that's
He's
nice.
yeah, he
The
spent.
person. Mm.
That's right. And so my sister says now when anybody says anything about white people this, white people that, she said, wait a minute, I got a good brother-in-law, you know.
Oh, that's
So
lovely.
yes.
That's lovely. So how do you, I mean, I'm going to put to you also, because you can ask me questions. Feel free to ask me anything, question that may be on your mind, whether it's to do with you, me, my thoughts, your thoughts. But how do you feel about, or how do you guys in the comments feel about me saying, although I am choosing to have relationships with black males, if I was to willingly sidestep, it would be to Asian. How do you feel about that?
Why Asian?
All right, let's get into it. She's like, that's almost Mexican. Yeah, she's like, yeah. You know something? And correct me, guys, challenge me. I'm open for it all. It's not just Crystal. You can challenge me, ask me things too. Growing up, when I saw a Caribbean person with straight Indian hair, they were Indian Caribbean. Yeah. A term used as a compliment, which it really isn't when you know your history, was coolie. You've heard of this, Crystal, right?
No, I've never heard of
All
coolie. I've
right.
heard of coon.
In the Caribbean community, even London, whatever, you see how the N word is accepted where you are, where it's not really where I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
The term coolie is accepted out here. But I once saw this young sister and I said, I love your beautiful coolie hair. She was like, listen, I know you didn't mean it as an offense, but once you re-educate yourself, you will know that coolie is the same as saying the N-word. But it's
Wow.
accepted in a lot of Caribbean countries to this day. It's never really seen as an offense. When you research the Asian doctrine and slavery for black people, even Gandhi says anyone mixed with Asian was classified as a coolie. So as a black woman, if I had an Asian man and had children, they wouldn't blink because that child is Caribbean Indian. All over the Caribbean, St. Lucia, Grenada, Antigua, Trinidad, there's a lot of women looking like me with Indian hair, black Indians.
Yeah.
That's the reason why if I was to have that mix, I'm not having any children now, I'm too old, but if I was to reproduce, I would have no issue having a baby with an Asian man. Yeah,
Interesting.
I have no issue having an Asian relationship, although they come with their culture.
That's right.
Yeah, will they accept me is the question.
Yeah.
But that person, that child is still black, straight out black. And it's more closer in culture, I think. So what have you got against the whole Mexican Asian thing? Tell me about
Oh, I don't have anything against it. It's nothing that I've never really you know, dove into. It's just not what I've been exposed to, you know what I'm saying?
that.
But I don't know. What I'm gonna say is gonna sound racist, but I heard they have little dicks. Now I'm not interested.
They have what? Little dicks. Do you know what? I've never ever experienced the Asian. We know there's different types of Asians, and this is me sounding real naive now. I don't mean the Asian man that runs a corner store. They look very different. I'm talking about, the Bollywood ones, packing,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
The movies, yeah, that sounds real naive saying that, but you know what I mean, yeah. Yeah, I'm really attracted to them. I'm really attracted to them. Obviously, not before my brothers, but I'm still attracted to them, and I would slide to that left real quick before
Yeah.
any other place other than my brothers. But as in the little dicks, girl, if I ever find out, I'm gonna inbox you, I'm gonna call you, I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, you're gonna inbox me. Guess what? You're gonna inbox me because they ain't never getting in this box. Never.
I'm gonna find out. Do you know what? In my past, I've had multiple Asian men pursue me, and I've said to them, how would your parents accept me? Black woman, look, locks, tattooed, non-Asian. The majority say, yeah, we have to marry on our own. They will get, what do you call it? Banished from
Disowned.
the family
testosterone and all sorts.
diabetic. Oh,
But a couple has said, no, my family's very liberal. But you have to be, in the Asians, I'm sorry, I know what I know. You have to be mindful and make sure that it is a Western family because you don't want to come up missing. Okay?
yeah. Wow.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but oh my Lord.
Listen, they don't play. You come up missing with some of these people. I mean, me as the woman,
Yeah.
or the man. There's a lot of, I don't know if you know about honor killings and things that happen and stuff like that. It's, they will actually, for different reasons, and I'm sorry for those maybe offended hearing this, for different reasons, it's been widely known, if you even Google it, that some Asians, some are so passionate about their doctrine, their history, and their heritage, they will have you as the daughter or son or the potential wife or husband be taken out. It's called honor killings.
Yeah.
They don't play. It's a serious thing. So before I slap the Bollywood, I better know what I'm doing.
Yeah. See, and
Crystal,
that
is
right
there
there,
anything? Hmm?
that right there is enough for me to be like, nah, I'll pass.
I know,
You
I
keep from
know.
a
Is
distance.
it exactly that? Is there anything before we persist that you would like to ask or you would like to share that I haven't covered so far as yet? Or you would like to
No,
ask me about anything?
um, no, I think that we've covered everything. The one thing that I hope that you
Have you
forgive.
frozen? Come back, Crystal. Wait, you're freezing. Say that again. Repeat that for me, please.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Hmm.
Okay, so I said the one thing that I was hoping that you didn't ask, you did ask, and it was just, it was my truth, and I try to be truthful, and that's why my name Crystal Clear is so perfect for me.
What did I ask? Tell me about that question.
About if my sons brought home,
Mm.
someone of another race, and
Actually, you mentioned it before I asked it. I was like, yes, let me get in there then.
yeah, but you know what? I understand this. I understand how I feel about it, and that's a work that I have to do on myself.
But you
So
didn't fine tune what that feeling would be for you.
I think it just goes back to the rejection back when I lived in Portland, where it just felt like the black guys chose um, white women over
We're not
me.
good enough type thing.
Yeah,
Mm.
and I was like, what's wrong with me? So, and then when I moved down to Texas and I was surrounded by a lot of black guys, um, I found out there was nothing wrong with me, not a damn thing.
Mm. Another damn thing. And what about if your daughter brought home a white male? How would you feel about that?
Um, I don't know because she's mirroring what she saw, but she's already told me she
Mm.
like black. She like black. So I know that yeah, she likes dark guys, but I know that a lot of times, the lighter the skin, the lighter the female, the darker skin she wants. I have a friend that's mixed race, and she tells me she wants her man just basically blue black, and that's what she's
Mm.
married and dated. Yeah.
And what has some of your friends said? Maybe so they kind of quizzed you. Where are your friendships now in regards to their opinion of your relationship? Not that they should have one, but where are they now with how they feel about your choice?
I think that initially a lot of them were kind of, shocked, um, but because it's something that they've never experienced in their own lives. I have a few friends that have married outside of their race, and we do talk about what that feels like and what it is. But for the most part, my friends have grown because of me, and they are willing to see themselves dating outside of their race because if I can do it, if it's possible for me, it's possible for them.
Mm, interesting. Crystal, you have been amazing. One more question before we close. What's the difference between having sex with a white man and a black man? What's the difference?
One
You
more,
had
wait, 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 wait. What? A car passed by, but I think this is a good question. What'd you say?
tell us the difference between having sex with a white man and a black man. What's the real difference?
Well, I will tell you, um, there really isn't a difference. A man is a man. Um, he loves me, and so he does whatever it takes to please me.
Mm,
Um, I've had sex with quite a few people, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's been some trash black dick and some
Mm-hmm.
excellent black dick. Um, but I will tell my husband, and this is TMI, I will tell my husband that I got cheating, because if you look at any porn or you hear anything, you hear that white men love to eat pussy, and I think I got cheated because black brothers eating pussy now. So, I don't know.
Let him eat you like a Happy Meal girl. I can't find my glasses. Yeah, like a Happy Meal, like, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, but my main answer is there is no difference. A man is a man is a man is a man.
That's amazing. Before Instagram shuts down this live, let me read a couple of quick comments, because we're running out of Instagram time. Someone says, Blood Brother says, good stuff here. I ain't got my glasses. I'm struggling. It's disappeared all of a sudden. Sandy, do you find that people are more open to the men dating outside their race opposed to the women? Yeah, because you said that to me. Yeah. One last question for the night. What has it been like for you to be on Free Flowing Thoughts talking to me tonight? What's been your experience? Let us know your afterthoughts.
I love it because I have a chance to speak my truth and to maybe answer things that maybe people have wanted to ask me in the grocery store or whatever. You know, what are you doing with that white guy? Because some people are quick to judge. This is fun to be able to speak my truth, to give my reasoning, and to just be me.
That's amazing, Crystal. You have been fun. You have been captivating. You are a naughty, energy, beautiful woman, and I love it. Yeah. And to come
Thank
out
you.
to Texas, if I ever come to Texas or you come here, you know we're hanging out, right?
Yes, big time.
We actually, if you were in London, we would be hanging out because you're my type of friend, for
Hey, I
sure.
just got my passport. Don't tempt me.
Girl, you know where I'm at, London town. You guys, thank you for joining us. I read as much comments as I could today. I know someone said love is love from Poetic Veronica. And you guys, I'll see you Friday. We're back with Serenity, talking more soul talk. So peace and love. I'll speak to you soon. Thank you so much, Crystal. And viewers, I love you. Namaste. Peace and love.